After threatening to do so, the Prime Minister is intervening in the energy market, building a new gas-fired power plant in the New South Wales Hunter Valley with taxpayers' money. Let's go live to Canberra now. Jonathan Lee has got the latest details. Jonathan, good morning. This was in the budget. How much will this cost the taxpayers?
Oh, Pete, this is going to cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. But to understand this decision, you've got to go back to 2017, back to the closure of the Hazelwood coal-fired power station. When that closed unexpectedly or suddenly, it jacked up the cost of prices, the government says, roughly 85%. That hurt businesses, it hurt jobs, it hurt homeowners who were all trying to pay for their energy costs. Now, fast forward to today, and the government is trying to make sure that it's thoroughly prepared for the closure of the Liddell coal-fired power station north of Sydney in the Hunter Valley. It threatened and it told the private sector that if they didn't come to the table, if they didn't come up with a plan, it would do it themselves, that they would find the money in the budget, and they've certainly now done that. So let's bring up on the screen and show exactly what this means. We're talking about some $600 million. In terms of Commonwealth money to create a 660 megawatt gas power plant. 600 jobs directly, apparently more than double that indirectly. They want to avoid a price hike of 30%. But we can go further and show another graphic here as well, Pete. This is all about providing 1,000 megawatts of power. So it's now going to happen through two plants. One, obviously, in Kurri, which is in the Hunter Valley. A second is in Illawarra. Now, I know that AEMO, the Australian Energy Market Operator, has told the government that they didn't need this capacity, that they actually only needed something far smaller. The government says that's the bare minimum. They want to do what they can to drive down prices. If they can do that, it makes businesses more competitive with Asia, and they can potentially hire more jobs, more employees, and then you start to see the lowering of that unemployment rate. It all starts to work in a cycle here, but you've got to understand that taxpayers are paying for it at the moment.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jonathan, the government has a growing issue with vaccine hesitancy this morning as well.
It does. This is the front page of the Sydney Morning Herald talking about the fact that apparently 29% of those they polled say they are unlikely or very unlikely to get the jab. Apparently only 14% say they are extremely likely to get the vaccination. Scott Morrison, though, makes the point we have a number of tools in our arsenal. We can't afford to be complacent, and if we want to get back to normal, we need to get the vaccination.
And so we've got to manage the risks in a smart way. I think we've got more tools, we've got more defences to protect Australia now, and we can ensure that we can keep this going. But you know, we've got to know that at the end of the day, the virus is pretty pervasive and it's pretty fierce, and we can't let our guard slip.
Yeah, Pete, if that herd immunity tally or total is roughly 75 or 80% of people or the population being vaccinated, it obviously makes it very hard to get to that figure if you're talking about a third of people refusing to get a jab. Pete?